Oh, shoot. There's nobody really here, so hold on.
I'm just gonna mute myself or like
Mute myself.
No, I'm gonna go join it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They should give you a notification, I think. Hey, we got 3 people on here. What's up, what's up, what's up? Wait until people shuffle in. Let's see. Good evening, good evening. Hello from Jacksonville. Hello. Back home safe. We see yes. Back home safe. What up, what up? Howdy from Boise. What's up, Boise? Thank you guys. We'll kind of wait for this to fill up. Not that it fills up with a ton of people, but it fills up with a decent amount. Just want to get up or get back on live and just kind of check in with everybody. I have been back since last Wednesday. I didn't really make it public just because I was just locking in with my family more than MendyImports. We'll talk about all that because thank you. Glad to be home. But we'll talk about all that because I have some things I'd like to address because I think the expectations were set in a different way. And I don't know if it's my fault or if it's just some people just bring it upon themselves to set their own expectations when it comes to it. But we'll go all over that. Let's see. We'll wait a couple more minutes. We'll wait at the 2 minutes and 30-second mark. Does anybody have any questions for me, I should say? It's weird being here not having Nick because normally, like if Nick was live, he'd be in the other room and I'd be in the other room and vice versa. Except that right now in Japan, it is 10 a.m. and Nick is locking in Japan and I'm kind of locking in here at home. But yeah. Let's see. Let's see. All right, cool. We hit the 2 minutes and 30-second mark. So, want to get on here, kind of set the expectation moving forward for everybody because I think that it gets skewed. So, when I went out to how much was the Atri shipped to PR? The one I currently have here at home, I'm not sure. I'd have to check and find out. They have a lot of die-cast. Yeah, they had a ton of die-cast in Japan. You can catch all that in the videos. And then I have one more video. So first and foremost, I'm back home, but there was a lot of content that I got from Japan while I was in Japan. So it's like backlogged. Now I pretty much have, let's see, like 1, 2... I actually have to refresh this because I was going like crazy today to edit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 videos that I can see here that are uploaded to my YouTube that I just finished editing today that are all backlogged from Japan, whether it was cars that are for sale that I just made a separate video for, or whether it was just me showing around in Japan. So stay tuned for those. The stuff that is here stateside, it's going to be a little backlog too. Like I went to the port, so there's a port video that's coming out for that. So stay tuned for that. What else? I'm doing a lot of ums, and I apologize for that. So, yeah, it was fun. Content to come in America. Very excited to be home. I think there's different motion at home, which needs to get taken care of. There's going to be car meets, car shows, car things that I want to be a part of and be here. But ultimately, I came home because it was awesome being in Japan, but then it also gets kind of hard when I don't have my family there with me. And so ultimately, I miss my 3 kids. Like every time I walked by the train station and I saw like family together with kids, I was like, dang, those are not my kids. And I miss my kids. And so I was like, I need to be back home. So yeah, what degreaser did you use in the video where you sprayed the engine compartment? I don't know if I used the degreaser. So for the engine compartment, I tend to stay away from degreasers. Well, it's probably one of Teggy's, but mostly the reason I try and stay from degreasers is because you don't want to put them on any of the pulleys or any of the like bearings that are inside of the engine bay, because then it will degrease the bearings and then it'll screw it up. But yeah, so got not homesick, but definitely missed my family, and I came home because of that. And ultimately, I had planned to come home, but now I'm back home. And so what I want you guys to understand is when you see these videos that come out, I try to be as transparent as possible. Car Deal Page has all their vehicles that I made videos for listed on their website. And on their website, it'll say what the Car Deal Page price is, and then it'll say that's it. So that's CNF, which means basically the cost of the vehicle and the cost of freight. So when you buy directly from them, you're doing everything on your own, meaning from when it leaves Japan to when it gets to the stateside, wherever you're getting it stateside. What I was offering, or not was offering, what I am offering is the service for Mendy Imports to clear it from the port for you. So what does that mean? That means basically from when the vehicle leaves Japan to when it lands here, the vehicle will come under your name. I will get it from the port. I will do all the paperwork that's necessary. I will pay all the taxes and fees that are associated with the car. And then you basically either come pick it up at the port yourself, or you have a transporter pick it up at the port and they transport it back to your place. And so often what was happening, and I think it happened with two isolated incidences, and I will leave those incidents out. The people that are part of it, they know. But basically tonight I have to remove myself from one of them because it was just like, if you guys want to haggle over the price, there's no haggling when it comes to this, because I run the fine risk that at the time that I'm offering this, by the time it gets here, tariffs can go up like astronomically. We could be paying 50% for these cars to come in. And so I'm taking the liability, I'm taking the gamble of whether or not those tariffs are going to go up or if they're going to stay down. So ultimately, I could be fine. I can make some money on top of that, or ultimately I could lose a ton of money because of that. So I'm taking that, but that's the risk that I am offering for people that want to buy a car through Mendy Imports and not have to deal with their broker or anybody else. And I get it. Some people that are buying vehicles from me or from Car Deal Page have done this numerous times, and my hat off to you. That's great. If you want to do that, then just buy it directly from Car Deal Page. That's why I give you the Car Deal Page price, not the Mendy Imports price. And so I wanted to set that straight because I don't want to waste my time or your time trying to do something that you don't want it done. And so if I offer a specific vehicle through my video, either take advantage of it or don't take advantage of it. It's really truly up to you. But it really comes down to, I just don't want to play around with people, because some people don't understand that my time is very valuable, and that it's not worth my time to go back and forth. It's either you're going to work, you're going to trust Mendy Imports that he knows what he's doing and he's going to provide the services that he needs to provide in order for you to get the vehicles that you need to get. Another thing that I want to address, and I'll probably make a full video about this that goes on YouTube, is the level of expectation that I want you to set for when you order a vehicle from Japan. Because when you get a vehicle stateside is what Nick and I like to call the Amazon effect, meaning you can physically go see the car, or you can go on Facebook Marketplace, you can see the car, you could say, I want that car, you go buy that car, and it's there, boom, done. When you are ordering from Japan, that is completely thrown out. Like, forget about that. Because I want you to understand, like, you'll see in my port video that's coming up, a vehicle, the Nissan Atlas Loco, that I ordered back in July, that I now just recently got last Friday. So that's almost a full year of me waiting for a vehicle. Now, I want to set the expectation straight that it could take anywhere from a month to 3 months, depending if you service a vehicle or not. If you do not service a vehicle, I would say more err on the side of 3 months. That's when you're going to get the car. If you get the vehicle service, I could say it's up to 6 months. Like, there's an easy one that I helped broker for somebody that it just finally got on the ship. And I think they bought that back either in October or November. But it's just because in Japan, the way that it works, the way that Car Deal Page has it set up with their mechanics, they have 3 different yards where the car, well, technically 4, but 3 different yards that are relevant to speak about. There's Nagoya, there's Osaka, and then there's Yokohama. The best one to get anything done is going to be Nagoya. That means that it's not as crazy, as crowded. If you want a car service there, it'll be a quick turnaround. Even getting a car, like if you want a full color change, they could do a quick turnaround there. We're talking about maybe a month at the most, maybe a little more, depending on how much more they get. Then second is Osaka. Osaka has the ability to do cars much quicker. And then last is Yokohama. Yokohama is just, unfortunately, it's just not the greatest when it comes to getting the car serviced, because there's such a backlog. Like, think about it this way. Tokyo is right here, Osaka is down here, and Nagoya is like over here. The mass amounts of cars are coming from basically Tokyo. So all the cars are coming into Yokohama because that's the port that's going to get them out towards the US. And so what ends up happening is there's just a lot of cars from different vendors, and all these mechanics have to service all these. And so it takes time to put them into a queue, to get them serviced, and to get them back out. We're trying to do something to fix that so in Yokohama it's not as bad as it currently is. But that's just the reality of it. And now this place like Nagoya and Osaka, they don't get as much. They get a lot of cars, but they don't get as much. And so why is this relevant? Well, it really depends where we get the cars from when you guys want the car. So when we go to the auction, the biggest auction is USS Tokyo, and that's in Tokyo. So any vehicle that's going from USS Tokyo, most of the time will get routed straight to Yokohama. And so another factor that you have to think about is ships run in different lines. So there's maybe a ship that starts in Yokohama that goes to Osaka, and then from Osaka it goes to like Kobe, and then from there, boom, straight to America. Some of them just go from Yokohama straight to America because they're so full in Yokohama that they don't have the ability to stop. Some of them start in Osaka and then basically go to Yokohama and then straight from there. So a lot of moving pieces that people I don't think they fully grasp and understand. Again, I'll make a full video about this that explains this, but basically is you have to be very patient. You cannot have the Amazon effect in Japan unless you're like really balling out and you're like, forget it. Let me throw it on an airplane and let me air mail it. But let me tell you that it's probably going to be triple or quadruple the cost of what your vehicle is for you to air mail it like overnight on an airplane. It's just not worth it at that point. And even if you're getting like a K car, it's like you're insane. So what I'm saying is be patient. A big thing that happened too is because of the whole tariffs and Trump thing that was going on, a lot of the manufacturers saw what was coming. And so what they did is Nissan, the Nissan Motor Company, the company that was shipping all the cars, basically all the car manufacturers were like, you need to just take new cars. And so what they did was they are packing their cars full of, packing their ships full of brand new cars to get them here as soon as possible. So whatever the tariff thing's going to be, their cars are already entered here and they don't have to worry about it, which means they stopped shipping cars from Japan to America that were used. And so they said, forget the used car market. We're worried about the new cars because that's really where the money is made for them. So in turn, what happened is they stopped shipping abruptly. And so all the cars that they were supposed to ship basically got pushed and got backlogged. And then another company called MOL came into play, and MOL said, okay, we're going to start shipping. But think about it. All these backlogged vehicles that were supposed to ship on Nissan are now going to MOL. So the priority is taking those that were backlogged. So if you bought a car and it wasn't already like listed to be shipped, we're starting at the very bottom of the totem pole because of all those cars that needed to get shipped. So what I'm saying through this live is be patient. If you're going to buy a car from me, I want you to have the expectation set that it's not going to be overnight, that this is going to take time for the cars to get here. But ultimately, it'll pay off because you'll get the car that you want, and you won't be paying the crazy prices that you normally would be paying here stateside for that same car. Like you can get a K truck from me, and depending on what K truck it is, if it's serviced or not, or if it's just whatever, under $6,000 versus somebody out here might charge 9 or 8. Heck, you can maybe find it for $6,000, but it's just finding the right one. And I think prices of everything is going to start going up as we notice things start to change because people are going to notice, hey, a lot of people want this. The demand's going to go up and the supply is not going to be there. So a lot of the prices are going to go up. So that's all I'm saying. I guess I did not look at a lot of the questions that were asked, but let's see. Where any good pricing on Toyota Crowns? There are always good pricing on Toyota Crowns. What I would say is if you want something, reach out to me, car deal page, Nick, especially Nick right now because Nick is there and he can physically see the cars. And let's say you want a Toyota Crown. Okay, let's go over this question. You want a Toyota Crown and you go to Nick and you say, Nick, hey, can you find me what Toyota Crowns are coming? Nick will look on the auctions and say, hey, there's a couple coming. There's anywhere from a grade R to a grade 3.5 to a grade 3. And then Nick will be physically there. And what you'll tell Nick, and it's very important, so this is streamlined, super easy to go. You'll basically tell Nick, hey, Nick, I want to get this Crown shipped to the port for $6,500, and that's just throwing a figurative number. And then Nick will be like, okay, cool. Let me go try and win this car for $6,500. So Nick will go to the auction, or Car Deal Page will look for the auctions. We'll look for that car. We'll throw in a bid for 6,500, and if they get the car for 6,500, great, perfect, done. Then they got a car for 6,500. Then you pay them and you go from there. But if you're just like, hey, what's the prices of the car? I really can't say. They change all the time. It really depends on the grade. It depends on the mileage. It depends on so many different factors that we can't really give you like per se anything. Now, if it's on the stock list and they're trying to push it out, you can go look on Car Deal Page's stock list, and then it'll give you more of a clear answer as to how much that particular car is. And that goes for any car. So when people are like, hey, I want this, what do you think the price range is? And it's like, I try to be as honest from when I've had already ordered a vehicle in the past and say, okay, hey, look, when I ordered this sandbar, it cost me 4,500 or whatever. That way you can kind of get an idea, and then I'll tell you if it's a good one, worthwhile. You might want to pay like $6,000 for it because it's got X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. Let's see what else. Yo, how's it going, Brock? Pat, do a clear and title package. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, here's what it comes down to. All that I'm gonna do right now is cleared to the port. If they want to add title, a title runs 450. Registration from Virginia runs 500. So tag and title, if you want it, it's just straight 500. Period. And then getting it cleared, it's me taking on the risk. And so when you see those prices on my videos, and they're towards the end of the videos, and I kind of do that so you watch the videos and you get an idea. Even if you scroll to the end, you'll see the prices. But that again is me taking the risk of whether or not it'll be, whatever's going to happen, if it's going to go up or down. Brock, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, but sometimes people need explaining because they just get things twisted for some reason. Are you willing to facilitate a stateside delivery? I can facilitate a stateside delivery. Excuse me, whether it's me, myself, like with my truck and trailer, if say it's going to New York and you want it down in Baltimore or something like that, or you want it up in Vermont, I can definitely facilitate that. I also have access to a broker, a shipping broker, where I say, hey, here's the zip code from point A and point B, and I give them the zip code, and then they give me a quote back saying, hey, it's going to cost X, Y, and Z for a car. Let's give you an example. I think I shipped a car from here to Ohio, and it was like just under $700 or $725, and all those prices fluctuate depending on the time of the year. Like going down to Florida right now, people that are up here want to go down to Florida because all the snowbirds are going to come back up. So they don't want to go down empty, they want to go down full, and then they want to come back full. So everything changes. But yes, I'm willing to facilitate stateside delivery. Even if it's just like, hey, can you go pick up my car and drive it to my house? I'll do it. I have access to transport plates to be able to do that. How about ports? Your price includes all ports? Well, so that's very specific. So my prices, and you'll see in the video, include basically LA, Jacksonville, Florida, Baltimore, and New York. And then all those in between Jacksonville to New York, those are all various different prices. So that'll just change. So it might be like $150 more. That's just because that's what it costs to get it to that specific port. Some of these ports are all smaller, and so they cost a little more. Same thing with like Texas, like Freeport's a little bit more expensive, and then like Tacoma might be a little bit more. So those might fluctuate in prices. But yes, for the most part, it's to the port. I usually do to any major port. That's what's going to be my price. If you could wipe out your entire profit, it could wipe. Yeah, it literally could. It literally could. Today, I was going back and forth with a person, and it's like you don't understand. Like, on top of offering you the car, I was offering you service, and I wasn't going to profit anything, but I wanted to do this to facilitate the sale so that the Car Deal Page could sell this car because they bought it on behalf of me. But it got to the point where I was like, you know what, just go deal with Car Deal Page because it's not worth me getting involved because they're like, oh, I've done this X, Y, and Z, and it's like, good for you. I'm glad that you've done it. So then go do it yourself. You go take on the risk. And then most of the time you'll see that the prices that I give you are pretty crazy. Like, they're very, very competitive as to what you would pay. But the nice thing is you're not having to deal with anything. The only thing you deal with is in the email chain when you have to sign paperwork, and that's it. Me paying everything else, me saying I'm taking care of it, where you're saying, hey, I've got a driver that's going to go there and pick it up, boom, done. Here's the information, give me the driver's information, put them on the delivery orders, they pick it up and get that car out of there where there's no fee associated. So it's just turnkey, ready to be picked up, period. And then, or if you wanted to go to the port, if you had a TWIC card, depending on what port you're going to, The only port that I'm aware of that doesn't do Twig card, I think, is New York right now. But if you you have a Twig card to just go and pick up your car, you can. So it makes it pretty easily and seamless. I just don't think people see that value, and I hope that, I mean, those that have, thank you very much for trusting me that you have seen the value that I have to offer. But others, it's like I don't want to have to convince you. If you want to do it, great. If not, then just go elsewhere. There's plenty. Literally anybody and their mother nowadays is an importer, and that's it. I mean, my fee is much higher, and I don't have a problem saying that. But I value my time more than what other people are willing to value their time. So when people ask me, "Hey, what does it cost for you to facilitate a sale, or not a sale, but facilitate getting a car from Japan to here?" And the straight answer is I charge $500. And what that $500 gets you is basically 24/7 access to me saying, "Hey, Dave, this is what I need. How does it happen? How does it do?" And I basically problem solve it with you, alongside with you, to do it. Now, the other thing that most people don't realize is there are fees associated with it. If you're paying me to facilitate everything, there's still customs and fees that you got to pay. And I'm not a licensed broker myself. I go through a licensed broker, and I can say it out loud. I don't have a problem with that, but I use Easy ISF. So if you want to bypass me and go to Easy ISF, by all means, I give you the tools. I give you their phone number. I give you their email address, and I tell you, just go and contact them. But what you're paying with me is the ease of, I don't have to worry about when things come up, when customs is holding the car and I don't know what to do, or when I don't know what fee to pay to the port, or I don't know how to sign this or send this. And it's like little minuscule things like that that people are like, "Oh, I can do it myself." Great, do it yourself. I really encourage people to do it, to just go and do it, because everybody can do this themselves, but some people are willing to pay the price to just have somebody facilitate them doing this, and that's where my fee comes in. I value my time, that what I have to do is costing me $500. Now there's plenty of people that their fees are like $100, $300, $400, and if you want to go through them, I can't knock you. Please go to them. And by all means, it sometimes might be better for you to go through them for your own mental sanity. But if you want the Mendy Imports to facilitate that for you, my price is $500. And moving forward, I try and do it so that even if you say, "Let me do one car with you, let me learn," boom, done. You learned. And then next one, you're like, "Hey, can you just hold my hand?" Yeah. I'm not even going to charge you. I'm going to encourage you. I want you guys to learn to do this for yourself. So I'm going to say, "Yes, let me just hold your hand through this process and let me do it." And it's like, you will be able to import your own cars at the end, because you'll realize it's much simpler than everybody makes it seem. It's basically knowing how to get the information to the right people to file the correct paperwork to get the vehicle into the US. And maybe that's divulging a ton of information. I mean, I really don't care. I really don't care. I want you guys to understand that I make my money by the services that I offer, but I also allow people to have these services provided on their own, or by other people that are willing to sell their time out for less. So if you're that person that sells your time for like $100, $200, $300, $400, all power to you. I would just like to tell you that your time is worth more. I know that sometimes people do volume over margins. I do volume for cars over margins, but when it comes to my time, giving it to somebody else, I do like the value or I do the margins over the value. I rather would get a bigger payday for helping you than just like nilly-willy, like whatever. Because you don't understand, like, there's so much going on in Mendy Imports. Like, it takes a lot of time. So that's where I value it. So if you guys understand that, great. If not, then I totally understand. Like, please, by all means, I don't like. I'm not holding a gun to your head saying you have to work with Mendy Imports. No, no, no. By all means, it's not a gun. It's just like a little toy thing. So I don't get demonetized. But I want you to do it, and I want you to feel happy after you've done it with Mendy Imports and not have a sour taste. "Oh, Mendy did this, Mendy did that." And I've seen it happen and come close to where I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to work with you, because I just don't care to deal with people that don't want to align with what I'm doing, if that makes any sense. So I hope you guys kind of understand. I know that I went off on a rant there for like about 4 minutes, but let's see. Would the quality of the service be the same between the 3 yards? Yes. I mean, ultimately, they are. Can things go wrong? Can they service a vehicle and still come with issues because something broke? Yes, absolutely. That's with I mean, I've been in the service business when it comes to servicing vehicles here in the United States, and I can be the first to tell you that I'll fix something on a vehicle, and then the vehicle will be back because maybe that same thing is broken again. Could be parts that went bad, but yes, for the most part, I can put the stamp that most all 3 yards will be the same level of service. And if not, Cardeal Page is there to back it up. You can ask Cardeal Page, hey, what happened X, Y, and Z? Like, this. One thing that is just out of our control, unfortunately, and it's happened to me a couple times, and I like to just be upfront is air conditioning service is so tough because they can recharge it and then by the time it gets here it could have leaked out or I don't know what it is. If it's between changing in the Japanese air to come in here, it's different. But I've seen it where they service the air conditioning and then it comes here and it's not fully all that well, and then I throw like a can of Freon in there and it blows ice cold, and it stays blowing ice cold for years. Like Megan's car, the Prado, is a perfect example of it. When it got here, the AC was not working, was not even blowing cold at all, and then it wasn't until I went and recharged it that it started blowing ice cold, and I was like, wow. And it's been almost 2 years since we've had your car, yeah, and it's still holding. Could it leak out tomorrow? Yes, but AC service is the one thing that I'm like, it's an unknown variable. So yeah, let's see what else, bro. What up? What up? Sign of integrity. Thanks for being or for breaking it down for us. Anytime, guys. I like to just be as transparent as possible. When I started this, nobody was doing this. Nobody was saying anything. The only person that was really transparent with me and who I still use to this day is Alex. Shout out to Alex. If you want another broker, Alex is cheaper than I am. I think he charges $300 or something, but Alex will literally walk you through everything. And I have no problem saying go to Alex. In fact, when you work with me, you work with me and Alex to get all this done. And most people would say, oh, why would you still pay Alex? Well, let's give it to you this way. If I eat, somebody else can eat. So there's always food to go around. I like to incorporate as many people as possible because I feel like everybody has a way to be able to make money. So my $500, keep in mind, gets spread almost thin most of the time because I'm using Alex, I'm using other services that just make it work, and that's why it's $500. But Alex can offer it for $300 because you're going directly through him. If you want his number, reach out to me. I'll give it to you. No problem. I have no problem doing that at all whatsoever. It's even worse when some boat crashes into a bridge in Baltimore. Absolutely. If you want to know the worst, besides the Baltimore thing, because thank goodness that didn't affect me much, it's just kind of backlog cars. The worst was when there was a fire in Newark. I was working full time, and I came to the port on a Friday, and that's the day before is when it caught fire, that boat. And it was because somebody had loaded a car and left it on like one of the levels, and the whole ship was on fire. They were trying to put this ship out for days. And the day that I came was the second day that they were still trying to work on it. I was the next one in line to go get my car to go home. And guess what? They were like, port's closed. It's too dangerous. Fire's going. And I was like, no, my car's right there. I need it. I got to go back to work on Monday. They're like, sucks to suck. We don't care. This is what they told us. And so instant situations like that, like you just don't know of the unknown variables that are going to come because of shipping a car. Like I had somebody that I was helping that they had lined up a transporter, and the transporter was a no-show for 2 days, and then they ended up having to pay for storage on the car for 3 days straight because the transporter couldn't come and pick it up. Stuff like that. That's so many unknown variables that happen that I can't teach them all to you all at once. You can't learn them until you go through them, if that makes sense. But when you have somebody like me on your court says, okay, let me help you, let me take care of this, it's always better. Let's see what else. Yep, I'm now on my third ship out date. Yep. Should we start a GoFundMe to get you a JDM dog friend for Lola? Yeah, so Jimmy, the plan right now is so I'll divulge some information so you guys know. The big plan right now is I would like to move to Japan to do MendyImports in Japan side. I think that's where the money's going to be moving forward. And so I think that's where Nick's headed too. But my wife and I have been talking pretty heavily about this, and what's it called? I think we may make the move depending on if we can get the visa sponsored. We may be going to Japan coming up in the future. I'm going to take my wife out there to make sure it's all good. And if that's the case, then yes, I would love a puppy for Lola or a friend
Grover's been
for
asking for one.
what?
Grover's been asking.
Yeah, Grover, our son, has been asking for one. So yeah, definitely might take you up on that and a GoFundMe for that. Let's see. The shipping company saw it coming before it was announced. Took me 2 extra months to get a slop on it. Yeah, you see, Ronnie, that's the thing is like most people don't realize that. But like there's when I was in Japan, so many things were unfolding, and I didn't want to go out and publicly say anything because I didn't want to freak people out because there's no reason to fearmonger anybody. But things change overnight, and then luckily the great thing was, okay, one thing changed. So one door closed and another door opened. MOL, and MOL seems to be a better company overall because now they can handle bigger stuff that Nissan didn't, and so now hopefully it will mean that it'll speed up the process because they don't just necessarily use or do new cars. They do a little bit of everything. Shout out to you, Dylan. Thank you. I appreciate the love. Let's see the shipping company site. Yep. Y'all need to check out the Toyota Soar Aero cabins. Those are fire. Definitely need to check it out. Depends on the currency conversion too. A lot of things. A lot of things. See, here's the other thing too is like if I tell you the nice part about doing this whole thing buying is like, and I'll be fully transparent with you guys, right? I work with Car Deal Page. And basically what I have worked out with Car Deal Page is I said, look, instead of giving me money from like let's say there's we'll give you a figurative answer. We have a car that's listed for $3,000 with everything to get it cleared. I say it's $4,000. It's a figurative number. Just throwing that out there. So there's an extra thousand. So you'll pay Car Deal Page directly. You won't even hand me money. You'll hand it directly to Car Deal Page. You'll wire it. You'll send it through Wise. You'll send it through PayPal. You'll pay them directly, and then they pay me back through like a credit that I have built up, whether it's to pay off a car or to get a car or something like that. So the nice part is you never give me money. You're giving it directly to Car Deal Page. And then from there, it's like for me to handle the rest from there. So that's a pretty cool thing that is nice that I can pride myself. You're not handing me money, at least not yet. Maybe in the future, it'll be set up where you're paying me money. But for right now, you're paying Car Deal Page directly. So it's going through a legit company. It's not going. I mean, Mendy Imports is a legit company too. But I'm saying if it's your first time doing anything with me, let's see. The Stagia, yeah, Stagia is a really cool car. There's pretty cool ones out there. You can find them depending on what you get for decent money. Don't forget to reach out to me. I'm interested in the food truck you have. Joe, reach out. The best thing is just shoot me a text, phone call. Phone number is 203-940-1259. Again, 203-940-1259. And then we can definitely talk about the food truck, whether it's the one that I have. There's two downstairs, they're both mini cabs actually. Whether it's a roll up one or whether it's the one that I just posted up there. There's someone tentatively that's coming Saturday that was pretty gun ho about buying it, so I just want to be upfront about that. Freeport is no Twic. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know Freeport that is no Twic. That's a good thing to know. Brock, there's a lot of footwork. You do, yeah. There's a lot of footwork and time. You're absolutely right. I wish everybody can see it. My mom imports too. That's awesome. That's awesome. Your mom imports too. Pat, really? That's good to hear because I'm waiting for my first card to ship and arrive there. Yeah. Pat, are you serious about the Twic card? Good, honest, guy Mendy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Yep, no Twic card for Freeport. That's where I shipped my Jimny. So I wasted my little coins getting Twic card. No, you didn't. Let me tell you why you didn't waste your little coins on the Twic card, because believe it or not, if you fly, it also gave you the ability to have TSA pre-check. So the number they gave you with the Twic card is also TSA pre-check. So essentially, you just paid a little extra for TSA pre-check. But on top of that, you can get onto any port in the U.S. So say you ordered one and it's coming to California, or you want to take a wild trip and you want to send it to California, and now you can go pick it up in California. It's pretty legit. I wish I had my Twic card nearby. It's in my backpack somewhere, but I carried on like a lanyard so I look legit. So Twic cards are definitely worth the investment, and I think it's like 5 years or something they give it to you, so it's totally worth it. Me too at Freeport. Pat, is your IME yellow? No, silver. Jimny. Okay. You in Houston. I keep seeing the Jimneys at work. Houston, yes. I'm going to use Mendy's services. Please do. I mean, I'm here to help anybody. I would love to help anybody that I can. Finally caught it live. Glad that you're finally catching live, Matt. Welcome. You'll have to watch the beginning later. You didn't miss much, but let's see. Freeport is hassle free. Just make sure already cleared. That's the same thing with with Jersey. As long as you cleared everything, it's pretty hassle free. And the guys down there know me pretty well. And it's pretty easy. Like if it's a car that you want me to get for you out of the port, it's simply just sending me your delivery orders and I get it out for you. Even simple stuff like that. Like if you're stuck and you just need the car physically out of the port and me hand you the keys and you go pick it up later, stuff like that. I don't charge anybody that because I wish somebody would have said, Mendy, I'm going to the port tomorrow. Can you just pull my car out, or can I pull your car out? I'll give you the keys and you go pick it up after work. Like that is worth $1 million, and that to me is like I'm happy to give that and pay that forward to anybody because I know how it is. I know the struggle. I've been there. Let's see. Plus, with all your experience, you can crank through the whole import process much faster and easier than someone learning the process on their own. Absolutely right. I mean, there's certain things that it's like it's all an email away. It's all just simply instead of wiring money to them, you can pay through paid cargoes. Simple tricks that I have acquired over the years that really make it easy for me to just be like, hey, this is the tip and trick, or like Ron is the guy at the gate. Bring him a coffee. He'll help you out. He'll take care of you. Mark is in there. Just bring him like a gift card and stuff like that. Like simple stuff like that that is worth so much more than the $500 that you're paying me. Most people don't realize that. Next subject. Okay. Good to know. I was gonna bring a buddy with a TWIC car to get the vehicle. I mean, you still could. It'd be cool to show up with a TWIC card and they don't really need it. Services at the end. Can you tell us what the ratio, or yeah, what the ratio you have on your giveaway? How many tickets are left? So if I look right now, let me go look on my website because everybody's curious to that. Let's see. I believe I said we were down to 200 because I think that's what it was. And we're actually just right at 200. We're right below, or right just a little bit over 200. So still 200 slots to go. I'm trying to get this filled up, and I know a lot of it is my fault because I'm not pushing it as much. And part of the reason why I'm not able to push it as much is because I have all this backlog content. So I haven't made like a dedicated video of the stateside vehicles that could be available on there. So that video is coming soon. I haven't even made a post on my Instagram, but if you know anybody, friends, family, just send them the link. Say it's $50. Throw your chance in to win. Shout out to all those people that have multiple slots. Can I have some water, please? And yeah, I would love to get this thing filled up because there's a lot of cool cars. And like while Nick's out there, they're buying even more cars. So like I said in my videos, it's a revolving rotation of potential cars that you can have. And even here, there's going to be access to more cars potentially. So if you want the Amazon effect, you could get it at the end. Freeport won't let you go inside the actual yard. You'll wait outside the loading area and they'll drive the car outside. It's interesting. I didn't know that Freeport did that. Oh, so they will bring it to you. Good to know. Why rise? Yep, I need to bring a jump rail. I bought a slot on the giveaway. How many slots left? I just said that. Hopefully you caught that. Where's the Jimny intake? It's actually packed in my bag. It's in my bag. I haven't even posted it, so it's due to get posted soon. Sorry. So would you change the name to Mendy Exports if you moved to Japan? No. Mendy Imports will still do the same thing. It will still be the same. That's my brand. It's just Mendy Imports. I would probably exclusively, depending on who gives me the visa, I would probably still do it with whoever is able to sponsor the visa. Again, Dylan, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate you, man. If you show business in Japan, they'll issue a business visa. Yeah, I was looking into a business visa. What was it that you? What was the requirements?
It's an entrepreneur visa or something like that.
It's called an entrepreneur visa, but you need a minimum of like 40 racks, right?
No, it's like 65,000.
Oh yeah, so you need a minimum of $65,000 to be able to get an entrepreneur visa, US dollars, to be able to get an entrepreneur visa. Unfortunately, I don't have that capital to say that I can. I even thought about maybe like a content creator, but that was crazy. They wanted like how much a month? Or no?
It was like 40,000 a month.
No, it was like 12,000 a month. I thought. No.
No, I think it was like 40.
No. It wasn't 40,000. It was something kind of astronomical, where it was like, or no, it was 1,200 a month. I think.
No.
Something that was like, I'm not there yet, but it was something crazy. It was crazy. It's awesome that you have a Stadia coming. Brad Peters, what's up, Brad Peters? Um, let's see. Mendy's legit. He's broken. The mini I just purchased when he's over Japan. Thanks. No, thank you, Brad. Appreciate you trusting me. Mendy and Nick, as far as I know, would give you the honest review before any car would fix little details if necessary. Yeah, and if you notice, you'll see it in my videos. I just like to be just straight up clear with you. If I see something I don't like, or if I see something that's a little sus or off, I'll show it to you because most people won't. But I show it to you because we set the expectation. Now you know that this car's coming with X, Y, and Z, and now you don't have to guess, oh, I don't know what I'm going to get. Now you know what you're going to get. And then when you get something that might be a little bit better because I might have exaggerated a little bit more, now you know, oh, dang, that's cool. And so I like to set the expectation as clear as possible so that people know what they're getting before they get it. Because last thing I want you to do is buy a car and you're like so excited for it, and then you're like, what the heck did I just buy? At least the expectation set, because nobody did that with me. Again, I kind of live by the standards of do unto others as you want done unto yourself, except when no one did anything for me, I would love to give back to the community and give back to you guys. Hi Rich, how's it going? Hope you're still on here. I'm sorry if some people like bounced off while I was on the live and ranting, or not ranting, but saying all this information. Would you ever register a car or truck in CT on behalf of a customer if the customer pays you? Yeah, absolutely. But I would advise you against CT. I live in CT, and CT sucks. Depending on where, like if the car's fresh imported from Japan and you have all import paperwork, they make you go through a hassle of going through Weathersfield to get an inspection to make sure you have DOT approved tires, your horn works, and all that. All this jazz, it's just unnecessary. I would advise instead. Oh, and then they charge you like every 6 months, they charge you a tax. So believe it or not, and maybe I'm shooting myself with this, but none of my vehicles are registered in Connecticut because of that reason. It's really dumb. I hate Connecticut because of that. I live here because I grew up here and I love it to some extent, but for another extent, like I just for me, we'd get out of here because of the taxes. It's so ridiculous. Like it's really dumb. They make you pay an excise tax essentially every 6 months. It's terrible. But yes, if you want me to do it through Connecticut for you, I can definitely do it. It's definitely possible, but I would advise against it. The other thing is they don't give any titles. So Connecticut, you're trash because of that. Let me be the first to say that, like proudly and loudly. And also, like their Second Amendment rules over here, it's just like they're just trash. But I'm not getting into politics. What up, brother? Just finished work. What up? What up, Javier? Extreme window tinting. The first thing you had eat back in the States. What was? Oh, I had. If you watch the video, you'll see that. No, I had the steak. Remember the steak and rice and beans?
Oh, yeah.
Megan made me a fresh bowl of steak, rice, and beans. And now that I'm back, I'm on this carnivore diet, which means I'm only eating meat and cheese and protein and like dairy. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of just coming back and adjusting to that. But before I started the diet, I did have arepas. Megan did make arepas, and I didn't put it on video. I wish I would have. How many slots left? I answered that already. Hopefully you saw, John, but it's just under, I mean, just over 200, if I'm not mistaken. Rich, I have one slot. I'm going to get another. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Rich. Hopefully you can get another one. You and Nick are going to have to find a Japanese Teggy if you move out there. 100% we'll have to find a Japanese Teggy, or we may have to become the Japanese Teggies. Or maybe Teggy, we can move them out there. What's the average weight on a car after you purchase it? So I tell everybody that the average weight can be anywhere from a month. If you get very, like, let's say tomorrow you go to the auction and they pick it up, then basically they get it. It's at the holding yard. They take the pictures. Everything's good to go. And it just happens to be the ship is getting booked and they have enough slots. And you say, throw that on there real quick. Then you get lucky and it's about a month because it takes about 30 days from when it leaves Japan to get to New York. So it goes like basically like that. But if it goes to California, I think it's like 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So anywhere from a month to 3 months if you're not getting service. If you're getting service, I would expect it after 6 months, just to be realistic with you. It could be sooner, but I like to set the expectations very low. I'd say high, but very low, so that if we achieve success at very high, then we'll all be happy. If you missed it, 200. No, I saw it. Boots on the ground. Don't make my mistake. Yeah, definitely boots on the ground for sure. I saw what Pat, what you went through. I bought Nick's Mira and can't wait to get it. Nice. Yeah, Nick's Mira was pretty sweet, especially those rims and tire combo that Nick that we ended up putting on there was really sweet. Waiting another hobby vehicle to sell to pick up a K-van. Hopefully that sells very quickly, and hopefully we can find you a cave-in. How can you register in a state you don't live? So the short answer is states like that just want your tax money. Essentially, that tax money that they collect from when you register the car, and they don't care where you live. They'll put your address, and that's it. Like Vermont was a big loophole. I don't know if anybody here used to use Vermont, but Vermont was doing it, and then they kind of stopped because a lot of people were doing stolen cars. Virginia is not like that. Like you can't have a stolen car. I mean, in theory, anybody can do anything, but they're pretty not like they look into that. But Virginia is pretty good about that. Connecticut actually does too. You don't even need a license here. Uh, yeah, I'm doing the title there for Pat. Texas and control of everything in NY sucks too. Yes, I agree, Rich. What paper is needed for tag and title again? So for tag and title, if you want me to run a tag and title for you, what I need from you is a copy of your license. I need a power of attorney just signed, and then I need your if it's just freshly imported, I need your export certificate in Japanese. I need your export certificate translated to English. I need your declaration page. I need your EPA, and then I need your CBP 7501 or 7501, which is basically the customs clearance stamped, and then basically take care of the rest. I fill out all the paperwork, send it out. They send me a tag and title back, and then I send that back out to you, and Bob's your uncle, and you got tag and title from Virginia with whatever is on your license. If you don't move to Japan, try Florida or Alabama. Megan, would you move to Florida?
No.
How about Alabama?
No, that's even worse.
Well, there you go. Don't take it personal, but she said no to both of those. So yeah, Megan is not someone for heat. I don't like the humidity, even though we get it pretty bad here, but it's bearable here. Let's see. Any luck finding a bigger trailer? No, Jimmy, I would say just book it. No luck finding a bigger trailer unless somebody's willing to lend me one. Can you buy your own container? Would that be smart business move? So when I'm gonna assume you mean would like shipping a container back. I would like to do it. My plan was to do a container to ship back the deli boy and the quick delivery. Somebody bought the quick delivery, which was great. I'm glad that it sold. If somebody buys the deli boy, awesome. There's a video to come on that. But my idea was to do the quick delivery and the deli boy in a container and then pack those full of things and maybe get a K truck in there. But things have shifted. But I do want to do a container. Basically, right now until like July, the shipping prices for container are pretty low, and so it's totally worth getting one. And if I have the right capital, meaning a couple people that say, hey, I'll pitch in, let's do one, I would probably do one just because I want to get my feet wet when it comes to a container. So it would be a right, I guess you could say, move, because they would put Mendy Imports in a different category now, that just more than just cars. But it takes like all things JDM does it very well. He's got a system down because he's got a group of 40,000+ people, and shout out to him because he does it in a way that, a lot of people hate on him for many different reasons. But he deals with a lot. Most people don't realize it. And so, but he's got a system down where he's got like a container leaving Japan, I feel like every month or every other month. If I could get to that level, that'd be great, but I would need 40,000 subscribers, or not subscribers, but 40,000 followers on a Facebook group that say, I need this, and here's what I can do. So maybe in the future, maybe if I move to Japan, that might be the thing I do. Virginia is easy, yes. David, looks like VA is now accepting electronic filing paperwork. I don't know. It might be with some things, but I don't think with titles is the only thing. The way that I do it, just to make sure it's all good, we don't have any kickbacks, it's just doing with hard physical paperwork. When you say certain prices shipped, does not include broker fees. That does. If it's a Mendy Imports price, it includes broker fees. If it's the car deal page price CNF, that does not include broker fees. But when I say clear to the port, it means I'm the broker handling everything. I go through a broker, but I'm the broker that basically, like, I guess you could say the middleman, but that basically sets it all up so that it's good to go and picked up from the port. Let's see. Lamo, the hard on no on Al. Yeah, it's funny that Megan was like a hard no on Alabama. So I guess stamped or no stamped is okay. For what's it called, for the paperwork. If you don't have it stamped, I have a way to get it stamped, so it's not the end of the world. Like the CBP 7501, I can get those stamped electronically, which works just fine. Just have to have AC down south. Look, K vehicles are allowed in Florida. They are allowed in Florida, and I would advise with AC, that's for sure. It's 3 vehicles coming now, 2,400 to you if you get a trailer. I know. Trust me, Jimmy. That might be worth it just so that I can pay for the trailer. So let me see if I can find a three car hauler. The biggest issue, Jimmy, is, let me put it to you this way. I would, in a perfect world, I would find a 3-car hauler and I would have it. But storing a 3-car hauler is where it gets tricky. So I don't have it. And as it is, I have a single car trailer and a truck. And shout out to Danny and Momo, because they're the ones that are holding it down for us right now, storing it at their house. But it's too big already as it is. If I had property, believe me, I would have bought it yesterday, because it would be awesome. Average container or cost for used one. Like if I physically buy a container, I think you can get containers stateside very cheap, because sometimes they just want to offload them and they don't want to send them back. It's cheaper to do that. But I've heard you can get them from like $1,200 to like $3,000 delivered to your door. Maybe I'm wrong on that price, but you're saying if it's from Japan to here, I think the average right now, just for the shipping freight, it's like 4,000 or 4,800 is what I got quoted. But that's just for the shipping. That doesn't include loading it and offloading and all that. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Yeah, I got a container, so if I can import a crane game machine, that would be cool to import one of those. So I buy K cars from you. You can buy K cars from me. I can definitely help with that. Have you heard of Tacoma Port, Washington? Hard to deal with? Yes. Straight up, Alex and I have spoken this in the past, because I thought about shipping cars to my father-in-law. And they are kind of a pain in the butt. They can decide to hold your car and hold it hostage. I think the people that are really keen and tied into it, like me, I know ins and outs of Jersey because I'm here locally to it. But Special K's and then Kevin from OK Garage, they've all dealt with the port, so they know that port probably by the back of their hands. If you have a question, I'd suggest reaching out to Special K's or to OK Garage. They might be able to give you the clear answer, but for the most part, yes, I've heard that they can be a pain in the butt, and it could cost more money when they hold up the car at the port for dumb reasons. And they can get held up for really dumb reasons, as simple as like someone didn't clean the dash off and there's some dirt, or there was a dead bug and then CBP's holding it and they're fumigating it because they're afraid that it has snails or something like that. So it's very possible. I actually was in Florida when they found snails on it, and they were like, it either needs to get fumigated or whatnot. They took rock salt, like big chunks of rock salt, and spread it all around the vehicle so that if the snail got off, it would just kill it. It's pretty crazy. Saludos from Puerto Rico. Nice. A 40-foot container is almost 5,000 now. Yeah. Maybe not an extra at the port. Maybe not extra at the port. Yeah, not sure, but hopefully this kind of clears the air for some things. If not, reach out. I'm more than happy to speak with anybody. You guys all have my phone number. I don't hide it. If you guys have questions, did you already say what car/truck you're selling? You have stateside. I haven't made an official video, but so if we go over the stateside things that Mendy Import owns, I have currently the Atlas Loco, which I'll make a full video about, and then you'll see the video picking it up at the port. And then I have the Mitsubishi Minicab boot truck, and then I have the tri-spoke, what do you call that thing? The Daihatsu Tri-Classic. Those are the 3 vehicles that Mendy Imports owns. Now, I have Rob's inventory, and then I have Savi's, obviously. I think Savi just currently has a cappuccino, so that could be part of the giveaway. It just has to make sense for me to like physically like pay them what they want and what they can make money off of for me to put it as part of the giveaway. But then there's also the food truck, like the roll-up food truck. That's part that I have for sale as well. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but before I left to go to Japan, I made a video about how Car from Japan screwed over Fred. Fred has asked me to sell that sandbar. That's just basically a parts vehicle, or it could be just a whatever truck. So that one is for sale. if anybody's interested in that one, I was going to list it on Facebook Marketplace for $3,500. In my opinion, it's kind of junk because it's super rusted. But one man's trash can be another man's treasure. So if you're interested in that, definitely reach out. I can get you, basically you go through me to buy the sandbar, but it's already titled in the U.S., which is really cool. So that's winning as it is. And then it's pretty much ready to go. It runs and drives great. Just has a lot of rust on the cab and all that. But if you're interested in that, then, definitely reach out. Luckily, Fred did get back money from his credit card, but he's still into it. Like I think he paid car from Japan $4,800, and then after my fees and the title fees and clearing it from the port, he was into it closer to like 6 or 6,500. So us selling it like this, it's so that he can recoup his money fully. So it's going to be up there. We're going to see. Hopefully, somebody ends up buying it. Makes it like a project truck, or if you have a sandbar that needs parts, this engine runs good. It only is a 2-wheel drive, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Dave, can you ship personal cars from Japan? Say I buy from a local seller, documentations and shipping. Yeah, I would just go through Car Deal Page. But we can definitely do that. I was looking actually venturing to do that with like a service member out there who's selling the one of his vans, and ultimately it didn't work out because I couldn't find somebody that wanted the Delica that he wanted. And so, but yeah, if I buy a car over in Japan and I want to ship it here, we just go through Car Deal Page. What usually happens is we just got to get it to the lot for Car Deal Page, and then Car Deal Page will deregister it, get an export certificate, and then the export certificate will go directly to you. And then when the car gets here, you just do it the same way. But yeah, I could definitely, excuse me, if you buy it from somebody you know out there, or if you buy it from like somebody that sells it locally, definitely can help you get that out here. I just go through Car Deal Page because they're set up to be able to do everything pretty much. Super crappy tail on that one. Got messed up trusting bad boots on the ground. Yeah, fortunately it wasn't even boots on the ground. It was just bad business practice from car from Japan. Honestly, that's really what it comes down to. Dave, where's the Jimny intake? Okay, give me just 1 second and I'll show you where the Jimny intake is. What are some K cars that can go on the highway speeds? Honestly, every single K car I will confidently drive on the highway. Will you hit 80 miles per hour? Nope, especially on the 550s. But you can ask Megan. You can ask Nick.
You have a lead foot.
I have a lead foot, so I will put anything on the road, and it could be falling apart, and I'll still put it on the road. And maybe that's stupid, but I don't have a problem. I will put any K car on the road. And some people say, "Oh, that's very dumb." Sure, it is, but can you get it on the road? Yes, can definitely get it on the road. But yeah, let's see. Pretty much all the 660K cars can handle going 65 unless they're really loaded and they can go on big hills. Yeah, for the most part, they're all pretty much going to hit 65. Some of them get capped out a little. Like some Honda Actis, the older ones, they'll reach 65 on a downhill, but they won't want to go 65 all the time. I just bought a JB23 2018 5-speed model. Are there any known issues? So if it's a JB23, it would probably be like a 99 to 2000 and something. Known issues with death wobbles, known issue with them. Let's see what else. The vents are really crappy on them, like the AC vents. They like pop up instead of going down. But hold on, because you keep requesting this, and I'll show you this. 1 second. There's so much merchandise and goodies that I have not gotten to that I promise I will get to at some point. But for now, I guess I could show you this. And it's basically that intake, that Jimny intake that you're asking for, that I have right here for you, that I can show you. Because I wrapped it up nicely to come home. And there you have it. The Jimny intake that's still wrapped in its original box that came from what's it called? From Upgarage. I don't know what else you need. Maybe this piece is just enough, but that's basically all you get is just the J pipe and the pod filter, and maybe that's all you need. Maybe you need an extra hose to connect it or a clamp, but that's all I have. I have to double check what I paid for it, but basically I'll add on a little bit more that makes sense for me to make some money off of it, and then also whatever the shipping cost it will be to ship it. Let's see. Yes, that's not legal yet. If it is a 2018, I have a 660 deck van, and I take it to work here in Houston from Pearland to Johnson. I've actually been to Pearland. That's really cool. And to Johnson Spade Center. The Texas folks know what's up. Yep, you could do it. It's totally doable. My 96 Jimny manual runs 70 miles per hour without working very hard. Oh, I've hit 80 on a Jimny before, and I'm not afraid to say that. There's a video out there that I did it when I'm in Mexico where I hit 80 plus miles per hour. Especially if they have an N1. If they have an N1, they'll rip. They will rip. Or like a speed defender where you can go past the 80 miles per hour that it caps you out at. Matt, like in a try too soon. I got my sandbar truck to go 69 downhill with the AC off. That's actually really funny. Total struggles of a K car owner. The non-turbo trucks really aren't as happy on the highway. They're not meant to be speed demons, but they'll go on the highway just fine. They'll do okay. Now, are you going to be passing people? Some of them are going to be going slower than you. You can pass them. Jimny has great aftermarket parts. Yes, they have a big cult following, so they have a ton of extra aftermarket parts. Oh, it's beautiful. Yes, it is beautiful. Shoot me a text, 203-940-1259. Let's get this intake to you if you want it. I'd rather get it sold than have it sitting around. 70 miles per hour is where it's at with the Jimny. It's happy. Yes, Jimnys will be very happy at 70 miles per hour. In fact, when I caught the death wobble, it wasn't even going fast. It's when you started to go slow. That's when I caught the death wobble in a couple different Jimnys that I had. Anything else? Appreciate all the likes. I know we have 48 people here. If you haven't hit like, just hit like. The algorithm really likes it. It pushes it to some people more than others. And I'll eventually post this. I think right after this, I'll post this. This what's it called? This live, so it goes out there. It's funny. Like I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm looking at my analytics. When I was in Japan, I was getting a lot more views, and then I get out here and people don't really care. And to be fair, it's more because these videos that I'm posting are like to do with selling cars. So not everybody's loving that content, but that's fine. Those videos got to get out there so that I could try and sell these cars. So even if these videos get like close to 800, I'll be happy, because then hopefully somebody will buy it. But yeah, if you don't watch the videos, even if you just throw it on in the background, it really helps the channel. When I started Mendy Imports, I didn't even think I was going to do YouTube, and then the only reason I started YouTube was because I had the opportunity to make a video on the food truck. So you'll see that's one of my first videos besides the Fabio won it. The Serena. I made a video on the Serena, and it was kind of like a crappy one. The only reason I made that was because it went up on Cars and Bids, and then Nick ended up buying that one, which is pretty funny. But yeah, so that's the only reason I got going, because I got so many views, and I was like, oh wow. And so I said, let me get monetized. And so in reality, I got monetized. My best month in like YouTube for me has been while I was in Japan. Shout out to everybody, because my best month I made over $400 on YouTube, which is huge for me, but in retrospect, for the amount of money and time that I added, it wasn't all that great. But hey, it's something, and I'm really happy and grateful that I did it. I started, obviously to get monetized, you got to get 1,000 followers. So I started with like, I think I had 46 followers or subscribers when I started. And then my goal was to hit the ground running, to make as many videos as possible, make one daily. And then I hit the 1,000 monetization. And then from there, I was just like, let me keep this going. It's another side hustle, besides selling cars. That'll be fun. And now we're at 1814. So shout out to everybody who subscribed. Really, it's really because of you where I'm at. And I would love to, 100K is the goal to get that plaque. But if I don't make it to 100K, I won't be mad. But I just like to put content out there that is as real as possible, that you guys can see what the ability is that you can do with just about anything. So yeah. So if you guys have any other questions, let's see. There's a couple more that came in. Thanks. My 97 carry is super loud and scary ride on the highway. Okay, let me tell you this. My first vehicle was a 94 carry, I think it was. The round I'd carry, 4-speed 2-wheel drive. That thing went 85 miles per hour at one point. Don't ask me how. I'm not lying. I have a screenshot of when the map was like was saying that, and even Megan was following me. That thing flew down the highway. But when it was loaded up, it didn't like it. How do you fix that death wobble? It really depends on a lot of things. It could be tires or chops, so you can fix it by doing that. It could be the kingpins. It could be you just need a steering damper. It could be a lot of different things. You just have to assess what it was. Sometimes the steerings naturally on the Jimneys are super loose. So on the steering box, there's a bolt that you loosen, and then there's like another bolt that you tighten with a flathead until the steering gets tight, and that tends to stop the death wobble a little more. How do you hit like? So if you hit like by going on the top right, there's three little bubbles, and it'll pop up a thing, and then you'll see that there's a like button there. Just hit it. Top right corner, you have three dots. Are people over they're friendly. In Japan, yeah, for the most part, they're friendly. I mean, most people in Japan tend to want to stick around with Japanese people, but when they see a big guy like me with a beard and all that, they tend to be like, what the heck is this? So I'm like Godzilla when I walk around, I guess. Awesome content. I enjoy the Japan content. Keep up the good work, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it, Clay. I'm trying to stay up there. Can we get a cash price for the food truck? So for the food truck, I haven't listed it or anything for the little one, but I said 7,000 or best offer. Somebody's tentatively coming to look at it on Saturday, and they'll make their decision then, unless somebody comes before then. The big food truck, that one's at 29,000, but we can definitely move on price a little bit for the right price. Not too much, but there is room for wiggle room on that one. Is your right eyebrow drawn on? You're talking about this one? No, when I was younger, I opened a table and I sliced this open with the chair. So if you see that, it's what's it called? I had stitches on that eyebrow. That's funny though that you think that it was drawn on. Shout out to you, Justin. When are you going back to Japan? I'll be there in December. Pat, right now, Megan, when do you want to go to Japan?
For us, it's probably gonna be June.
We might be back in June, so I can take Megan to see if Megan really wants to move out there. And then if Megan wants to move out there, then we'll be back in June. And then if all goes,
well,
if all,
probably the beginning of next year.
yeah, the beginning of next year we would move to Japan if all goes well. And we're definitely talking too much right now, but we don't normally like to tell things until it comes to fruition. That makes sense. So June, I'll probably be back maybe for 2 weeks with no kids, just the wife. Japan content was great, even with three channels doing it the same thing. You all different perspective. Yeah, I love that. That is like the key thing. Is like, despite the fact that Tiki was doing it, Nick was doing it, and I was doing it, there was all different perspective, which is really cool. And shout out to Nick because he's really the one that spearheaded it. But yeah, even seeing Tiki like going from not making any videos while we were in Japan, like his goal was to make like 3 videos, and he was saying he was gonna get content and then put them out as soon as he got home. And we were like, no, Tiki, you got to put them out now. So shout out to Tiki the fact that he put them out because he locked in and he put an effort and he made it happen. That's awesome. I made 100 a week loading trucks. 20 hours a week, gotta start somewhere. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know, I could hit a viral video that starts to pay me $1,000 a month, and I would love it. That would be awesome. 100Ks. Hi, I like that. Death wobble usually happens on a lifted Jimny. Yes, on a lifted Jimny can out. Shout out to your wife for supporting your dreams and holding down the fort. Megan, how do you feel about that?
Oh.
Megan says, oh, which means thank you. I have to say that for her.
Thank
But yes, shout out to Megan because you guys don't see it, but we have 3 crazy boys. Well, 2 of them are which are like crazy. Like,
Feral cats.
let me show you this reel because this reel will represent as to what happens on like at home sometimes when I come home. Let's see.
Oh gosh.
You know the one I'm talking about, right?
No.
Crazy watermelon.
Oh yeah.
This will be the representation of like what it is, what it's like to live in our life. It's literally Augie or Grover, like literally. I'm not even joking, guys, when I say this. This is like the funniest thing ever. Yeah, literally. Like I'll walk in home and Augie is like trying to choke Fig, which is our youngest, out, or like throwing a pillow, trying to cuddle him. If I could put a camera on us daily, I think it would be really funny. But yes, shout out to Megan.
Reality TV show.
Yeah, we could be a reality TV show, but shout out to Megan because Megan has held it down and made it possible. Like for the fact, like I want you guys to realize something. I was gone from home over a month, and that's huge. So whenever anybody tells me, "Oh, I got a family at home, I got to do this," shut up. Just do it. Like don't let your freaking family be the one that stops you or hinders you. Like make it happen. Tell your wife, tell your significant other, like you want to do this, and you make it happen. That's it. Like when we started this, I didn't know that this is what I wanted to do. So, yeah, it's just a matter of time. Like, just stop making excuses for yourself and just go do it. Period. That's all I can say about it. Check out Jim Bosila LLC for local truck parts. Sounds good. I totally butchered whatever that said. Japanese people are too shy. They are really shy, that's for sure. Pat, you have any way that I can get in contact with you to talk about the JB23? You owe your wife a big time for letting you take that trip. Absolutely. She already got big time. I'm just kidding, but no, it's always we run not a tight ship, but it's not a 50-50 marriage. It's 110% across the board for us to do it. That's it. Like, you know,
Have to give 100.
yeah, we each give 110%, and shout out to Megan for that. And that's what we do. Like, there's not one that's better than the other. Like, I'm not better than her, and she's not better than me. We are one unit together. That's how it is. I'll help you move. Oh, Javier, for sure. I might take you up on that. Don't go summer. She's not gonna like Japan. Actually, that's true. You hate Florida, but Japan is bad.
I believe it.
It's almost worse than Florida. You're gonna melt like a popsicle out there. That's a crazy thing. So I guess it's a good time for her to see it. You should go to a baseball game in Tokyo. I actually wanted to while the World Series was going on, but the tickets were like, I think the cheapest one like $1,500, and I was like, there's no way I'm paying that. But you have a good wife, and my GF doesn't even let me go outside. I think you got to talk to your girlfriend about letting you go outside. That's for sure. Your machine's out of the three, correct? You're a mechanic out of the three, correct? I am the mechanic out of the three, out of Tiki and what's it called, and Nick. I'm not like a certified 10-year technician, but I wrench. June, the Caribbean temperature weather. I know. I was there in July last year. You can ask Megan. I came home and I was like burning up even when I came. Like I came home after I'd been in there like in July, like the heat of it. I came home and this was cool weather compared to Japan. So I totally get it. That was the first one. Moving to Japan will be a huge life-changing experience, and it takes a lot of guts. Well, we're trying to get the gumption to get those guts. Summer in Japan is hot. I agree. Summer in Japan is hot. Clay, why'd you redact the message? Let us know what you said. Word up. You're lucky, bro. You got a good woman. She supports you while she holds it down. So she says it's very sweet, but so I want you to understand that I didn't just stumble upon Megan. Megan rejected me on the first initial, like, she's laughing because there was so quick story. I know I'm at an hour and 12 minutes here, so if you're on here, shout out to you that you've made it this far. But here you're getting the Chronicles of Mendy Imports. But I met Megan through church. If you guys know, if you've watched the channel, I'm Mormon, so we met at a singles ward. And Megan, I had just picked this other girl up who I was not dating at the time. I just brought her over, and she was really into me. I didn't see her that way. That's the reality of it. And I saw Megan, and my eyes were like, dang, I gotta have it. And so I was like, yay, do you want to go kayaking one time? And this other girl's like, yeah, I'll go kayaking. And I was like, cool, you could join us, I guess. But I'm like, Megan, do you want to go kayaking? And she was like, yeah. And then I was trying to spit my game, and I guess my game wasn't good enough for her. But I was like, hey, what's your number? I got her number.
The other girl.
Oh, so her excuse is she thought I was with the other girl. But I'm losing people as I'm telling this story. Shout out to the people that are going. But what's it called? So I gave her my number. She didn't text me back, and I was like, all right, this girl's blowing me off, whatever. I was trying to text her back and forth, and she didn't want to. So I was like, whatever. But long story short is I basically told Megan, I know what I want. If you want to be a part of it, let's do it. If not, then hit the feet, because I know what I want. And so ultimately, Megan saw the potential, and here we are, broke as heck, and not living in a mansion or anything. Not that we aspired for that. But we lived in the bus, and we traveled the U.S., and so that's fun. So if we get to move to Japan, it'll be like bus life all over again. Let's see. November, February, perfect for Japan. I agree. That would be the perfect time. Teamwork makes the dream work. You guys are a hell of a team. Thank you. We try. Don't get me wrong. We have fights. If we recorded the fights, you'd be like, dang, these things, like, we throw down, like, gloves off, and, like, no physical fights. Let's get that straight. Let's get that straight. Not enough physical fights, but, like, I mean, figuratively with the gloves or whatever. But, like, just like any other marriage, like it just happens. You know what I mean? This is nice keeping me awake on the way to Indiana from Utah. Well, I'm glad that I'm keeping you awake right now. The deep Mendy lure, Lama. That's funny. Yeah, exactly. I tried. It took me a while, but then eventually she caught on and she understood the assignment. You fought for your love. That's good. You didn't give it up. If you don't fight for love, then what kind of love do you have? That's exactly right. Like, here's the thing. I've always known what I wanted, and I went and got it, and I don't let things stop me, and that was the thing. And I wanted Megan, and luckily here we are years later, and Megan's still around. And the hopes is that Megan will be around, and we'll see the potential, and she does. And I mean, Megan. Shout out to Megan because I'm sure you guys know or don't know, but Megan's a doula, so she runs her own business while I try and run my own business. But she definitely takes more. Not a. I don't want to say it like this, but she takes a backseat when it comes to it because she chooses to take a backseat. You heard it from her, so that we can make this happen. Do you have pics or videos of the bus you lived in? Yeah, so if you actually go on my channel, it's like one of the very first videos, but let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see. Mendy or small and simple bus. Let's see, there might be a video out there. Oh, there is a video from 5 years ago. You guys can see this. If you look up, if you go to YouTube and look up small and simple bus, you can see what Megan and I lived in for I don't even know how many months, but because we were living it, we were living it up. Let's see. This is, and I was much skinnier at the time, which is crazy to watch this video. I actually look like a hippie in this video, but this was the bus, this was Megan, and this was us at the desert, in the middle of the desert, just living it up in this bus, where it was literally just like on, it was just like framing. Like there's Megan, there's Lola, and yeah, like you could.
Disclaimer, this is not how it looked the whole time we was
No. This is not how it looked the whole time we were like that. But I was also really young in this video. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, if you look up small and simple bus, Steve Punk Steve, shout out to him. He's the one that made this video, but you could see the whole bus before the transformation. But if you actually go on Mendy Imports, let's see, it might pop the video up here if I keep looking a little more. I don't know. There's so many people doing bus life now. Let me turn you back around while I look for this video. But there's so many people doing bus life now. But if you go to Mendy Imports, let's see, Mendy Imports Schoolie. Let's see. There it is. If you go to Mendy Imports and you type in Schoolie Bus Tour, small and simple bus, you'll see that our bus pulls up and there's a full tour of it. And you can see all the cool things that, like Megan and I built this bus from scratch. By the way, there's if you go on our Instagram, I can actually show you that. Let me pull that one up. But basically, you could see where we started. But small and simple fam Instagram. Let's see. Small and simple fam was our Instagram. But you can see, actually have more followers on that Instagram than the one that we what's it called, have for Mendy Imports, which is kind of nuts. But you can see the whole adventure of basically from when we bought the bus. That's the day we bought the bus. That's the day we drove. That's Lola. This is the day we started to tear the seats apart and then taking off the roof racks, painting the rails. It went from basically this, what you see there, it's just like it gutted, and you could see the tape line. That's where all the things that were supposed to go into where the layout, and then you can see the transformation. We even did like a haunted bus tour with it at the church, like a haunted bus. What do you call that?
A Like a
haunted house, but in a bus. But it was for trick or treat, and you can see me and Megan as after we got married with our first son Grover, and then pulling out all the ACs and everything. This is literally stripping the bus down to nothing to basically painting the floors to rust preventative maintenance on the floor. To wiring up my own solar. I was going to put a generator and then I scrapped that idea. To then insulating this. This is pretty cool. And then I almost cut my eye with the hot shear metal. But we've been doing it since then. Like moving around has been a thing for us, and then you could start to see the layout come to life. It's spray foamed, and then we towed our Wrangler with it. So like we've done some crazy stuff in our life, that's for sure. But we would never take back any of the things we did. We actually had a lot of fun. Then going from studs, living out like you guys saw in that tour, doing the plumbing myself with the help of Megan. Like this was all from scratch. Like I basically had to come up with this entire system to wire it up. I did the shark bites and all that. And this bus is still out there, by the way. I don't know where. I think somewhere in Michigan was the last. We sold it to a family that was out in actually Chicago, Jimmy, believe it or not. They lived down in Chicago. They bought it from us in Oregon, and then they moved it back to Chicago and eventually sold it to another family, or I think like another person that helped people like recovering or something like that. That was Megan and I when we did the Weedy shower. Shout out to Weedy. They took faith in us and they basically sponsored that whole thing. I wish I would have done YouTube at this time because YouTube would have been a whole lot different had I done it. But like we used to pee in a composting toilet. You see that toilet right there? That would divert the poop into there and that would divert the pee into there and it would just churn, you would churn it and basically all the junk would just get like turned. And then we blew out tires. You guys are seeing Mendy Imports like real quick. This is the best car that I've ever owned was the Scion XB. We called it the roller toadster because the front end was set up so we could tow it behind the bus, and then it had a nice rack system on the top. All these lights function too, which was really crazy. That was one thing I pride myself that I was able to get them to do that. And then that was during the tour, the video you guys saw. It's one simple bus, and then let's see, this was a couch that we built from scratch that would turn into a queen size bed. And then you saw Lola. So this is all built by Megan and David from Mendy Imports. We traveled, went to Yellowstone National Park. How long did we live in Yellowstone for? I think it was 2.5 weeks or maybe 2 weeks, I think it was. And then we lived in places that you'll never probably see in your life. But this was our view. Behind us in that view was the bus. Crazy, crazy times. We drove through winter storms, and then ultimately the bus went from looking like this and then looking like this. So we lived in that. And it was very, very magical. I would totally, it'd be cool to actually do this in Japan. And then, excuse me, you got out of the bus. I bought a Volkswagen Bug, or not Bug, but a Volkswagen bus. Was going to restore that. That was during COVID times. Didn't go that well. Excuse me. The last thing I did was I bought this van that I wanted to restore and make into van life, so for us to go all over the place. But it didn't end up happening because that was during COVID time. I got screwed over on that deal. I bought that thing in Florida, and it just was a pile of mess. I overpaid for that van, and I learned a lot from that van. But I used to work for Safe Light Auto Glass and everything, so I used to install glass for a living. So I installed these windows by cutting them out and everything. It was crazy times to be alive, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've had so much experience with life, so there's been so many things. But let's see. Look into the free and cheap housing over in Japan. It takes some fixing up. Definitely will look into that. Most of those houses are going to be too far from where we want to be in Japan, though. Is the weather nice January to February in Japan? It's kind of like here, believe it or not, like the East Coast. Like when we were out there, it was still cold and it was still raining and snow too. When's the best time to go for business, not vacation, for Japan? I think the time we went, like right during this time of the year, is probably the best time because it's both nice. It could be warmer days and it could be colder days at the same time. But Japan does get snow. It's basically like the East Coast, if you ask me. A JDM bus camper conversion would be cool. So guys, that is the goal. But I don't know. The one that I wanted to do got sold, so I can't do it anymore. But who knows? We have the Atlas Loco. But the Atlas Loco, hopefully, is slated to get sold. Lo, did that shirt say Love Sack? So Love Sack is a furniture company that I used to work for, but it's that LOVE with the E backwards and then Sack SAC. Appropriate desert. Yeah, it is appropriate for the desert. Wow, you both aged well. What business does Megan have? Thank you. We kind of aged well. Megan is a doula, full time doula. So she's a birthing doula, I should say. So she helps women when they're giving births. And so, yeah, so that's what Megan does. Let's see. No regrets. The bus looks cool as heck. It was very cool as heck. We actually contemplate about leaving the apartment life and going back into a bus. And we really could. How did you guys get the name Mendy? So Mendy Imports came from my last name is Mendoza, Mendoza, and when I worked at Lovesack, my nickname was Mendy. And for the longest time, I was like wondering what can I do with the word Mendy, and I wanted to make a business with it. And finally, Mendy Imports came about. So that's where Mendy came from. Awesome story. Thanks for sharing. No, thanks for being a part of it. Like, share all these things. You got back to America. Yes, I'm back to America. Let's figure out a way to collaborate on a camper build on a scissor lift K truck. Imagine that on YouTube views. Yeah, that actually would be sick. Tell you what, if you source a scissor lift, send it to me. I'll build a camper out of the back of it. That'll make it worthwhile. Will would we built my daughter schoolie and she lives in it full time. That's awesome, John. Shout out to you, fellow schoolie member. We were definitely those people that lived in a schoolie for full time, and we traveled all over the U.S. It's awesome. Speaking of glass, best place to get replacement windshields for JDM imports. Pat, that's a good question. I think GNR Imports might be your best bet. If not, then reaching out to a vendor. Anything wheeled, Raymond has successfully shipped a windshield without it breaking. I think two, if not mistaken. But they're expensive. They're not going to be cheap. But yeah, either GNR Imports or reach out to what's his face, Ray from Anything Wheeled. He might be able to help you with that. But you guys have been on here for an hour and 26 minutes. For those that have been on here, shout out to you. For those that are trickling in and out, thank you for being a part of it. Van life would be crazy difficult with kids. Good for you. Good for a young husband and wife. But beyond that seems too cramped for me. So our bus had two bunk beds and had a queen size bed, and it was perfect for us. We had two kids at one point. We didn't live full time with it for two kids. We basically came back to a home, Megan's mom's home, when our second child was about to be born. But otherwise, like Megan and I still kick ourselves the fact that we're not back in the bus. But we actually lived in the bus. Remember when we left your mom's house and we were in the bus for a little bit?
We lived full time.
Yeah,
for 2 months.
Yeah, for 2 months we were living full time on a farm, and then we actually moved out of the bus and moved into RV, and that was fun. It was a total blast. Again, no regrets on that. And then we moved the RV out here, and then moved into this apartment. So it would be crazy, but it's totally doable. It's just as crazy as leaving my family a month behind to go to what's it called, Japan. Aloha from here from New York. It's Tuesday in Hawaii. That's awesome. Well, thank you for chiming in on the live. Why do car windshields suck and break now? Back in the day, they never broke. What's up with that? That's a good question. I don't know. They must. What?
I said it sounds like a conspiracy theory.
It is a conspiracy theory, but basically, is if they make a glass that's able to break, they can replace it and they can make money out of it. Shout out to Safe Light Auto Glass because they're the ones that probably spearhead that. They are the ones that own the market for that. I used to work for them. They're a very current company, but that's a different story for a different day. That's a conspiracy theory within itself. Is it? It's your personality, Dave. We could listen to you for hours. You're sincerely and genuine. Oh, thank you. That really means a lot. I guess you could say I'm a storyteller, but I can get boring sometimes too. Absolutely, the wholesome vibes shine through. I really appreciate that. That's really what I try. And like when before I started, I was always camera shy, and I'm still camera shy to some extent, but I think it's different now because I'm not afraid to be myself behind the camera. I think before I had this notion that I needed to be something else behind the camera, and the reality is you don't. You have to just be yourself. And so for those people that are like wondering, man, can I do YouTube? Yeah, you could do YouTube. Anybody could do it and just be yourself. I think there's people out there that are not genuine, that are trying to do this for the likes, for the fame, for the whatever they want, and it's just like it's not worth it at all. And that's not to single out anybody in general, but if they do that, that's great. That's good for them, but I don't think that's my vibe. I think it works for them, but it doesn't work for me. But yeah. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Absolutely. By the way, everyone I know that moved to Japan is doing well and they love it out there. I know. I'm partly afraid that we'll never want to leave Japan and we'll want to always stay there. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It ultimately we this is just it's all talk. It's literally I'm all talk right now until it actually happens. Windshields are more of a structural part in newer cars. Yes. It's actually structural for more almost every vehicle, but yeah. They used to be gasket set and now they're butyl set. Not butyl set, but like what's it called? Set with glue. Yeah, true. I said that before. I feel good, from David. I appreciate that. Thank you. I remember your first videos. You weren't really sure of yourself, but you continued how well you're doing. Why Norwalk? I grew up in. So here's another backstory of Mendy Imports. People keep asking questions. I keep answering. This is great. We're an hour and 30 minutes, but I when we first immigrated here because we're immigrants here, I came from Venezuela. My parents had family in New York and in Greenwich, so we came to Greenwich, and then we went from Greenwich to Stanford. Lived in Stanford for a little bit, but then ultimately moved to Greenwich, and then went to most schools in Greenwich. Graduated from Greenwich High School. Not that that means anything to anybody, but if you know, you know. And then from there, moved to Stanford. Lived in Stanford for a little while, and then I was living with my mom at the time, and we moved to Norwalk because my sister bought an apartment here, and there was an apartment right, literally 2 doors down, and so we moved in there, and we were there ever since. And then Megan, I met her. She lived in Mamaroneck, New York, where Rob's from, and she was a nanny out there. Scooped her off her feet, and then we got married, and then we kind of stayed here. We were living. It's kind of crazy to think the full circle of things. We were living like where I'm sitting right now is where the dining room table is. It used to be a couch that we turned into a bed, and we lived in a one-bedroom apartment with my mother. And Grover's crib was like to the right of me and to your left, essentially. But full circle. It's crazy how life just changes really quickly without you even knowing it. But we then moved to Oregon, where Megan's family's from, and where she was basically raised. And then we were there for a little bit, and then we ultimately decided we wanted to get away from her family for a good little while, and so that's a reality of it. I don't like to lie. So we left there and we came back to the East Coast when we had the opportunity, and we've been on the East Coast in Norwalk because that's just it. It's just been home. So yeah, got cousins in Greenwich. That's awesome that you got cousins in Greenwich. Story time with Uncle Dave. It's all good. I guess it is story time, but it is getting late here. It's almost 11. It's like 10:35. You dig the Aussie grilling can, the big Uzi grilling can. What is that? Explain, Jimmy. Fan. Ozzy Gulen. Who's a fan? I don't know Ozzy Gulen. That's a good question, so I can't say I'm a big fan. I know this is a little bit delayed. But yeah, any last minute questions before I get off? I know I keep saying that. And real thing, I guess the last thing I'll end with is I want you guys to understand that Lola is. We have a, what do you call this? An arch,
Okay.
and Lola is the centerpiece of the arch. If Lola is not
The
center stone, and let me tell you, you guys think I'm crazy, but Lola gets her own birthday parties and everything. Lola was literally, yes, I'm from Venezuela. Um, I didn't know that he was a baseball player. That's how untapped I am with that. It's been great live. Thank you. Yes. But Lola is the center stone of our family. So if you know Lola, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, at one point you should get to meet her.
Tell them when Lola's birthday is.
Oh, yeah. So we were October. Wow, this is bad. This is really. Tell me.
I kind of want to see you struggle for a minute. October what?
It wasn't the 31st, was it?
There's no 31st in October.
So what is it?
21st.
Well, the 21st. Yeah, that's my anniversary. Shows you how unlocked I am. But we were married October 21st, 2016. Lola was born October 21st, 2016. So she's literally the centerpiece of our entire life. And it's crazy to think, but
So our anniversaries we celebrate.
yeah, so instead of anniversaries, we celebrate Lola's birthday and coming into our life. But yeah, so Keystone. Yes, the Keystone. Thank you. Lola is the keystone of our life. Where is she? Is she over there?
She went to bed.
She went to bed. But Lola is amazing. She holds it down. We got her for $50 off Facebook Market, no, off Craigslist in North Carolina on our way down to Texas to go there for Christmas. So that's a whole other story. We'll leave that for another live. I want to get off the live. I'm sure you guys do too. Shout out to the 36 people that are here now, and shout out to everybody that's chimed in. Shout out to everybody who's hit like. If you haven't, just quickly hit like for me and appreciate it. Lola's locked in. 100% Lola's locked in. She is the definition of locked in. Whether she's sleeping, whether she's running, or whether she's just being herself. But yeah. Until next time, guys, you'll probably see this live there. Appreciate it. Much love from Mendy Imports to everybody. In any way that you support, whether you watch this, whether you hit like, whether you're part of Patreon, whether you bought a slot, whether you bought a car from me, either way, just know that I really appreciate everybody and what you guys do. Until next time, thank you guys. We'll see you guys later.